They call it a sports bio bubble, where professional teams and their coaching staff live and train in complete isolation from the rest of the world. It's an added barrier of protection from possible exposure to the coronavirus while on tour. But as 𝗀𝗃 reports, there's a price to be paid.
COVID-19 has transformed every aspect of our lives, including sports. The only way the games can continue is if sporting teams live in bubbles. These are strict, biosecure environments where they live in complete isolation for extended periods of time. Take the Springboks. After a 20-month hiatus, the Boks finally returned to the field against the British and Irish Lions in July. Immediately after, they went to Australia for the Rugby Championship. By the time they played their final test against the All Blacks in October, they'd spent a total of 12 weeks in an unbroken BSC.
These players have not been to their homes since the 3rd of June. They have toiled on this tour. They've had heartbreaking defeats.
𝗀𝗵𝗶𝘀 plays 8th man for the Springboks.
It's difficult and people say it's your job and whatever. It's not as easy as people think. You're away from home, you're away from your families. You don't see your kids. There's a lot of guys who's got children, and you don't spend time with them, and that's vital to your mental state and where you are as a person, as a player.
Mental coach Paddy Upton worries about the impact of this unnatural existence on performance and mental health.
Being stuck in a hotel room, you don't have the opportunity to get away from the game. Traditionally, what athletes, all of them do, is they have some escape. And almost always it's getting out of your room, it's going to shop, it's going to the movies, it's going to get something to eat, it's meeting your friends, it's something to take the mind off. But now these players are stuck in a hotel room, and we find that's one of the things that's exacerbating the mental tiredness and exhaustedness of players.
Cricket has made extensive use of BSCs over the last year. Dr. 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝘀 is the Chief Medical Officer of Cricket South Africa. Dr. 𝗀𝗶𝗀, maybe you can explain to us, what is a biosecure environment?
So what we try to do is create a bubble. So you're trying to create a vacuum where you deem it safe to play cricket. You're not allowing the virus to travel from the outside to the inside. And there's two elements to that bubble. The one element of the bubble is where we stay, which is the hotel environment. And the second bubble is the playing environment where we are. That's what the biosecure environment is.
This year, both the Proteas men and women have had to endure the confines of multiple BSCs. 𝗀𝗏𝗪𝗏 plays all 3 formats of the game for the Proteas. Talk me through a typical bio bubble experience from start to finish. What happens when you get there?
At the start, you travel to your destination. There's always a hotel or some sort of facility that you'll stay at. You immediately go into a COVID test, and then from there you're straight into your room. During the World Cup, we had to do a 6-day full quarantine. So you're in your room for about a week, and then after that you're allowed out to go to training, for example. It's under protocols. We have normally a floor to ourselves in the hotel, so you don't go to the reception area or the dining area. There's sort of rooms allocated where you eat and where you can, I suppose, hang out and have a bit of a talk.
Leg spinner Sunay Loose remembers her first bio bubble.
I think this year, January, when we played Pakistan, and that was our first tour back. We were in Durban. We stayed across from the big mall. We stand at your window and you just see everybody moving around, going to the mall, and we drive past the beach, people are on the beach, and we just kind of go from Kingsmead Stadium to the hotel the whole time, and you can't really do anything. So that was really challenging.
The Irene Country Lodge has been used as a BSC on several occasions. It's a complex logistical challenge to set up, according to MD Anwar Karim.
A project of this magnitude requires a great deal of planning. So in collaboration with Cricket SA, a month before the actual event is when the planning actually starts in earnest. I think the first things first is the property is then closed off to the general public. This being a bio bubble, the staff will remain on the property for the entire duration. We have a number of COVID protocols in place, so the staff are tested on the day that they arrive. They are then quarantined, and they are tested right throughout the entire 6-week project. They are not allowed to leave the property until the end of the actual tour.
There's no doubt that this is a beautiful hotel room that many people would love to stay in. But when you're confined to the space for days on end, completely shut off from the world, even this luxurious room can start to feel like a gilded cage.
It's a difficult thing being away from home, and we had our challenges within the team. And first 2 weeks we were in hot lockdown. We couldn't do anything. We had no support in the hotel. You have to do all your things on your own, make your beds, clean your rooms.
You feel like you're not a part of the country. You're not a part of anything. You're just there for a month in your little hotel room with your team the whole time. So definitely felt a bit like we were in prison.
𝗀𝗵𝗶𝘀 has spent much of this year in various bio-bubbles, and the experience has taken its toll.
If I can remember correctly, I probably slept at home for one night in 6 months.
One night?
Back from a tour, had to pack my bags and then leave again the next evening, you know, because we were on our way to Sri Lanka. And then you haven't even stepped foot, say, for example, on a pavement, on a road, for 3 months, because you're not allowed to do that. You're almost like a circus animal. You just come out to perform, and then you go back in your cage.
International sport is a highly pressurized environment at the best of times, but is performing at top level sustainable within the suffocating confines of a BSc?
The Chennai Super Kings at last year's Indian Premier League, they got placed into an inner city high-rise building on like the 22nd floor, which didn't have any recreational facilities, and they had 1 hour a day they're allowed to go to gym, and 1 hour a day they were allowed to go to the swimming pool. The other 22 hours they were in their room. This is the most successful team in IPL, made the most finals. They came last year. Absolutely no surprise, because no thought whatsoever went into the players' well-being.
The anxiety and everything just kicks in because you're just in a hotel room, you don't see people, and I'm a very people person, so I need to be around people and chat and, you know, go experience life.
In August, English star Ben Stokes announced he was taking a mental break from the game. But do players still trying to establish themselves have that luxury?
I don't think I'm in that position to do that, no matter how bad I'm feeling. I've got to go out there and do my job, and especially because for the first 4 years of my international career, I was basically on the bench. It's only now that I've started playing regularly. So there's no ways that I would be taking a break from international cricket.
I think it is difficult for someone coming into the team, someone who's not settled in the team, under pressure from guys behind him on the bench. And that guy definitely doesn't have the luxury of saying, listen, I'm going to take a series off, or I'm going to take a few games off, because there's another guy waiting to take your spot.
As administrators grapple with the toll that BSCs are taking on players, what is being done to help them cope?
I've coached a lot of individual athletes around the world from different sports as they've gone through the bio-bubble experience. And what I'm getting repeatedly, not just from these athletes, because I'm asking them, so what are your teammates doing? What are other teams doing? And it seems like to a fair degree, what the sports bodies are saying is mental well-being is important. And if you're struggling, you must speak up. That's just not enough. I haven't seen research come out yet to put out there, these are the 8 or 10 most common problems that athletes are experiencing. So I haven't seen anywhere yet a sports body putting that out and literally setting out a roadmap for this is what you can expect and this is what you can do about it. But just saying the mental side is important, you must speak up, it's just not enough.
Thank you for watching our stories here online, and please subscribe below to become part of our YouTube community and be notified when we upload our latest content.